Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Excellency the Minister responsible for Defense Affairs leaves the Sultanate for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to attend the final practical demonstration of a Ra'd al-Shamman exercise. National Multi-Hazard Early Warning Center alerts all to take extra precautions with the deepening of air trough, and the Ministries of Education and Social Development suspend study tomorrow, Thursday. Most wadis of the wilayas of the governorates of Al-Baraymi, Al-Dhahira, North and South Al-Batina overflow after heavy rainfalls as clouds accompanying the trough enter the rest of the northern governorates. And rescue teams of departments concerned deal with the tens of reports of numerous rescue cases in the governorate affected by the trough. Live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman televisions, here are the details of 7 o'clock news bulletin. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harb al-Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, and accompanying military delegation left the Sultanate today for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to attend the final practical demonstration of a Ra'd al-Shamman exercise, which was due to be held tomorrow in King Khalid Military City, in which the Sultanate is taking part. The delegation comprised Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, and a number of senior officers of Sultan's Armed Forces. It's worth mentioning that the Sultan's Armed Forces is participating in the exercise, where the joining Omani force arrived in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on the 14th of February. Rain continued to fall in the northern governorates of the Sultanate with various intensity ranging between moderate to heavy, accompanied by active winds and hail as a result of the air trough. Rains fell in the governorate of Musandam, Baraymi, Al-Dhahira, North and South Al-Batina, Muscat, Al-Dakhiliya, North and South Al-Sharqiya. National Multi-Hazard Early Warning Center issued a weather alert saying that due to the continuation of heavy rainfall, which is associated with the strong winds, hail and flash floods today and tomorrow in the governorate of Muscat, Musandam, Al-Baraymi, Al-Dhahira, North and South Al-Batina, Al-Dakhiliya and North and South Al-Sharqiya. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation alerts all to take precautions during heavy rain and do not cross wadis and to avoid venturing to the sea. During the weather condition experienced by the Sultanate, wadis in the wilayas of northern governorates formed panoramic and exotic scenes. These aerial shots were captured by videographer Ahmed bin Suwaidan al-Balushi. Minister of Education announced suspending study at all governorates of the Sultanate tomorrow, Wednesday, except for the governorates of Dhofar and Al-Wusta due to the adverse weather conditions that prevail over northern parts of the Sultanate. The Minister of Social Development also announced continuation of suspending work at all government domestic and private qualification centers, as well as at the kindergarten and children's center of Omani Women Association and the child growth houses, as well as tomorrow, Thursday, in all governorates of the Sultanate except the governorates of Dhofar and Wusta. That was based on an alert issued by the Public Authority for Civil Aviation pertaining to continuation of heavy rainfall precondition or predictions in the northern governorates of the Sultanate. Rains covered most governorates of the Sultanate due to the impact of the deep air trough. More details in the following report.
Wilayas of the governorates of Musandam, Buraimi and Dahira witnessed moderate to heavy rainfall since early morning and continued intermittently till afternoon. Rainfall became heavier as accumulated clouds covered the skies of the northern governorates of the country. The rains caused wadis to flow and formed waterfalls on top of mountains. In Buraimi, a number of citizens were trapped in their houses in Wilaya of Muhadha due to flowing wadis. Wilayas of the governorates of North and South Al-Batna had heavy to moderate thunder showers accompanied by hail. Many wadis and tributaries flew in the governorates. The rains and flowing wadis hindered traffic movement in many roads, and traffic was blocked between wilayas of Sohar and Shanas. Severe winds also uprooted electricity poles and led to electricity cut in a number of villages. The governorate of Muscat is currently witnessing heavy rains with thunder and lightning in some of its wilayas. The Royal Air Force airline handled the rescue case in early dawn to 6 people who were trapped in Wadi al-Khawd for hours. Meanwhile, the national transport company Muwasalat stopped its operational routes in Muscat. The retention rate in dams increased in most governorates after the overflow of wadis. Wadi Dhiqa Dam retained more than 71 million cubic meter of water this morning. Wilayas of the governorate of Dakhiliya witnessed rains of varied intensity, sometimes with hails, for the 4th consecutive day, causing many wadis to overflow and led to the formation of waterfalls above tops of mountains, particularly in Yabat Jabal Akhbar. Wadi Ma'aden hampered traffic between Yabat Barkat Al-Moz and Jabal Akhbar. Heavy rains fell in wilayas of North and South Sharqiya governorates. Most of its wadis overflowed, mainly Rawda, Samarisha and Aindam and Batha. Information indicate the possibility that many wilayas of the governorate will be affected by the deep air depression during the coming hours with active winds.
We are repeating this particular information from the Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education announced suspending study at all governorates of the Sultanate tomorrow, Thursday, except for the governorates of Dhofar and Al-Wusta due to the adverse weather conditions that prevail over the northern parts of the Sultanate. Public Authority for Civil Defense and Ambulance Royal Oman Police and Royal Air Force of Oman dealt with numerous calls for rescue during this weather condition. Some motorists risked themselves by crossing the wadis. 40 reports of people stuck with their cars, among other reports which came to the General Administration of Operations at the Royal Oman Police. The reports were more than 6,000 on Tuesday. Some people tended to risk it, even they were advised on location not to cross the wadis. Public Authority for Civil Defense and Ambulance received more than 90% or more than 90 reports from various governorates of the Sultanate. Most of them were trapped in wadis due to risk-taking by attempting to cross wadis. 2 deaths were registered in the governorates of North Sharqiya and South Al-Batina. The Royal Oman Police, with its all formations, carried out quick responses to the incoming reports to be available at wadi crossings, facilitating traffic flow on the roads where the policemen are working around the clock to direct, guide and warn using different media means. All the public are urged to be on extra alert, not to risk crossing the wadis, to leave safety distance between vehicles and to take care of children and fishermen, to follow weather bulletins before their attempt to venture to the sea. Public Authority for Electricity and Water confirmed that it dealt with all electricity and water cuts at various governorates of the Sultanate. It had been recorded that 150 electricity poles were knocked down between the wilayas of Rostaq and Musuna as a result of the high winds driven by the air trough. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. Al-Ahla exhibition by a Tunisian artist was held at the Omani French Center.
radio and spare batteries nearby. Local radio might be the only communication media. Stay inside the house during storm period. Roaming around in such cases is dangerous. In case of imminent flooding and you have enough time, move furniture and important stuff to upstairs. Cut off power supply to electrical devices and do not step on wet areas. If you're ordered to leave your house, immediately go to the suitable place, as per the instructions given to you without objections.
Welcome back to the news, to the English news bulletin from the Sultanate of Oman television. Under the theme Efficiency and Commitment, the third annual forum for contractors and importers for electricity sector launched its activities. The participants at the forum called for the necessity to increase the efficiency of the technical capabilities of staff, in addition to implement safety and security criteria when implementing projects. The forum recommended to increase recruiting technically training national manpower at the companies working at the electricity sector in order to contribute at building distributing network. It is well discussed electricity demands and the challenges. The forum witnessed the participation of a great number of companies working at the electricity sector. It also included an exhibition for companies' products. It's worth mentioning that the Sultanate investment at the electricity sector reached 221 million Omani Riyals last year. Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the Governorate of the FAR organized a meeting that gathered their excellencies, the member of the Shura Council in the Governorate of the FAR, businessmen and businesswomen of the Governorate. During the meeting, they discussed the current economic stage and mechanisms of increasing national income. They as well discussed the strategic projects that serve tourism sector in the Governorate, in addition to the role of Salala's port and airport. Committee of Strengthening the Role of Gulf Private Sector for Investment at Agricultural and Livestock Projects held its second meeting at the premises of the Gulf Cooperation Council Supreme Council's Consultative Authority at Embassy Neighborhood. The committee reviewed its agenda, which included the approval on minutes of its first meeting that was held at capital of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. It is as well discussed a number of papers presented by specialists at the committee, in addition to studies presented by the authority office. The Ministry of Manpower in the wilayas of the Governorate of North Al-Batina was able to apprehend 824 violating workers of labor regulations and laws applied in the Sultanate in February. That came in continuation of Ministry's efforts to organize the labor market and to minimize the phenomena of covert trade, followed up violators, and to limit violations which happened by some establishments. After taking all procedures, it became clear that 174 workers were from absconding manpower and 650 workers were from layoffs by their sponsors. At the same time, period final procedures of the deporting 231 violating workers were completed of those who were apprehended in previous periods. Oman Air has signed an agreement with Rezgateway for a complete holiday reservation system. The system Rezgi package will dramatically enhance Oman Air's already famous efficiency and performance by automating almost all manual functions. Res package includes dynamic packaging capabilities, B2B and B2C reservations, and back office system integration to payment processing and finance systems, and a call center module. This project will provide a significant benefit to the customers of Oman Air Holidays. They can now book online via Oman Air's Holidays call center or through Oman Air travel offices. Vacation packages booked through the system can include every aspect of the trip, including air tickets, car hire, hotel accommodation, airport transfers, and land tours. Artist portraits depicted deep relations between the Sultanate France and Tunisia, crystallized by Tunisian artist Layla Al-Alaqi Al-Ahla exhibition. It was held at Omani French Center and attended by a number of fine arts enthusiasts. The portraits expressed the relations binding the three countries and narrated the talks of the rich of the past. It embodied creativity, multicultural in all aspects and trends. It also depicted the closeness among nations. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Excellency the Minister responsible for Defense Affairs leaves the Sultanate for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to attend the final practical demonstration of Ra'd al-Shamal exercise. National Multi-Hazard Early Warning Center alerts all to take extra precautions with the deepening of air traffic, and the Ministries of Education and Social Development suspend study tomorrow, Thursday. Most wadis of the wilayas of the Governorate of Al-Buraymi, Al-Dhahira, North and South Al-Batin overflow after heavy rainfalls as clouds accompanying the trough enter the rest of the northern governorates. And rescue teams of departments concerned dealt with tens of reports of numerous rescue cases in the governorates affected by the trough. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.